Hello everybody, welcome to the Chessbait Drivecast, your one-stop shop for kind of controversial topics and kind of controversial opinions. So we got a good cracking show for you today. The reason why my wipers are going off, I don't know. Why are they going off? But they were going off before to clean out the ice/snow that was on my window. Yes, in March. Yeah, you guys already saw the title. Michigan weather is weird. Cue the intro. No, there's no intro. Imagine if I had an intro, though. Imagine if I went to freaking Patreon. Imagine if I went to Fiverr and told some little kid, yo, I want you to make a 30-second intro for my freaking podcast, dude. Let's freaking go. No, but in all seriousness, I'm tired of Michigan weather. I've been living here for probably, 14, 15 years. I hate Michigan weather. It's so uncomfortable. Everything about it is wrong. Literally everything is wrong. Let me get into that in a bit more detail. So, I think a few days ago it started to rain. Okay, it just started to rain. It's just a thing that happened. And, you know, it happens if you live near a lake. It's going to rain eventually. You're going to have a pretty hot day. I think it was 70, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which I believe is around 25 degrees Celsius, if I remember correctly. Somewhere around there. But my point is, it's a pretty cracking day. The sun was out. Everybody was basically in their t-shirts, myself included. And, I was thinking, hey, this is pretty fine. We're able to... I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of work right now, so if I seem distracted, that's kind of why. Just a little side note. Legit, I already finished recording the Drivecast, but just a little aside. I went from today having my entire parking lot filled with snow to all of it melting, and it being about, let's say, mildly cold temperatures, like fall temperatures. And now it's snowing again. Welcome to Michigan, folks. But my point is that I went to work, I think, was it a Wednesday? I don't remember, but when I went to work, it was a pretty hot day, so I ended up doing perfectly fine. And I'm thinking, oh, the sun's finally gone, it's going to start to rain, we're going to start to get used to that, spring weather? I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can get behind this. If it's spring weather, then it's spring weather, I don't particularly like spring weather, but, it is what it is, and I'm perfectly content with it, perfectly fine with it. And then immediately after, I think it was earlier today, it started to snow. I'm playing a Mogi here, and I'm just seeing that this thing is snowing. Like, what the heck, dude? I'm sorry, I didn't know that Michigan was allowed to snow a few days after it rained. What do I look like? What do I look like? A freaking weatherman? I don't know, it just kind of ticked me off that it just started raining out of nowhere. But, the point of the story is that it was just completely wild that Michigan has weird weather. I don't know why I started a Drivecast over this. It's basically just me ranting on about how whack our weather can be at times, which, I get it. Other states have wild weather too, but no offense, Texas, having a 100-degree heat stroke in the middle of the year is not really as exciting as, I don't know, what's a good example? It's not really as exciting as someone being able to get Florida temperatures and Canada temperatures in the same time of the year. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, having one season of the year is not that impressive. Having 4.5, now that's called impressive. But that's enough ranting on. I need to make a U-turn. I remember doing the Drivecast with Shukai like months before. And look, I know Shukai's gone from our Discord, and I don't really get to talk to him anymore. And yes, that is sad, but the point of the story right now is that I remember talking to Shukai, during the thunderstorms one, and we talked about climate change and all that. And I don't want YouTube to flag me because I mentioned all these buzzwords. So I'm just gonna stop myself and say it was a fun Drivecast, and because we live near each other, he lives in Ohio, I live in Michigan, we can kind of just come to the understanding that Midwest weather is just really stupid. People will just get snow all the time for no reason, and we'll just have a frozen car sticking in the middle of the parking lot, and we won't even know where to park because someone forgot to shovel the driveway. It is what it is. Anyways, I gotta deliver this. I'll be right back. I remember going to, Disney World for the first time. in freshman year of high school. And it was years ago, and I know I'm old, shut up. But the point is that I remember going there for the first time during the winter. I think this was February, mind you. And a lot of drama happened between my friends with that I went to middle school with, and that's a whole nother topic to get into. But the thing that was really important is that Florida weather during the winter was already considered hot to me. Like not, you know, unbearably hot to where you need to constantly be eating ice cream and drinking lemonade to cool down. You know, what do they say? Cherry ice cream cones and cherry soda, or whatever they say. No, it wasn't that level of disgustingly hot, but it was still relatively hot enough to where you have to wear a t-shirt. I'm just wondering to myself, how do Floridans live here? I don't know. Like, I don't. It's not that I, don't understand why your state is so weird. I mean, yes, that is true. Florida's a terrifying state to live in, but I just can't understand other climates. Isn't it? I don't know. Just uncomfortable to always be living in the heat. That's how I feel, honestly. And look, you could probably have the same perspective by getting a person who always lives in the heat and throwing them into the snow. It's a whole culture shock, and I get that point. Back when I was a kid, the undisclosed country that most people on my server already know that I was born in, I personally did not. No, sorry, I'm trying to drive and talk at the same time. Don't text and drive, kids. Unless if you're making a Drivecast, then do whatever the frick you want. It's kind of kidding me. But, yeah, back in said undisclosed country, I experienced summer and winter before as well. It was a completely different experience simply because it wasn't as hot, it wasn't as cold. No, it was definitely as hot. It was much hotter, even despite the fact that I'm pretty sure that country is much higher in terms of the latitude, meaning that I live in a country that's a lot higher in terms of latitude. It means away from the equator, and therefore it must be colder, but it isn't. Sure, we still get snow, which is probably why the culture shock when I went to America for the first time wasn't as big. I lived in a country where, hey, you get snow a lot, and that's just something that you get used to. I guess I just didn't have a big enough culture shock to where I just felt uncomfortable living where I do live right now. Where the heck does this person live? I'm in second entrance. Honestly, the delivery Drivecast that I started making, I never ended up finishing it. So I'm just kind of really disappointed at myself for not. There's a lot of Drivecasts in the backlog that I can get into. You know what? I started this Drivecast with Michigan weather, but I'm going to end it with just me never finishing half of my Drivecast. Because I did mention that before. Oh, it's the west entrance. Okay. I did mention that before. The fact that I did not have a lot of Drivecasts finished, and because of that, there's a lot of lost episodes. And it's not the type of lost episode where I go, haha, if you like this video enough, then I'm gonna release my outtakes. Like, genuinely, I just don't like them from a creative decision, and the things I said could have been said much better. And it happens, okay? Sometimes with a lot of Drivecasts that just sit in the backlog, and I just never end up editing them. Maybe because I don't have the right game that I want to be paired with in the background. Maybe it's because I just don't like the topic at hand. Maybe I just don't think it's because it's topical or genuine enough. It happens really often. And the delivery Drivecast just happens to be one of them. I had a lot of good points to say. I just never was able to complete it just because, just like right now, I'm in the middle of work and I gotta end this Drivecast abruptly, simply so that way I can finish doing my delivery drives. It happens. I mean, it's really annoying when you get interrupted mid-sentence and, you have a thought that you want to finish, but you just can't because, I don't know, somebody interrupted.